Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's House, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're doing well out there as we fly our way through January. Moving quickly here, 2024. Can you believe it? Our guest today, first time on the show, out of Manchester, New Hampshire, Chris Gendron.
Heart on the run, keeps a hand on a gun, can't trust anyone. I made it through, 'cause somebody knew I was meant for someone. So girl, someone needs medical help or magnolias bloom. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to chop wood. So cover me up, you know you're enough to use me. Put your faith to the test when I tore off your dress in Richmond all night. And I sobered up, I swore off that stuff forever this time. And you'll ever say I thought it'd be me who helped me get home, but home was a dream somewhere I'd never seen till you came along. So girl, hang your dress out to dry, we ain't leaving this room. The Percy Priest gates open wide and the river's on through. Carries this house like a stone on a piece of driftwood. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. So girl, leave your boots by the bell, we ain't leaving this room. So someone needs medical help or the magnolias bloom. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to chop wood. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good.
All right, Chris Gendron in the house, Manchester, New Hampshire. How are you, my friend? First time on the show.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Doing good, doing good. We play that song right there because I was not in the building last night, but news travels quickly. I have it on good authority that that is the song that put you through to round 3 the Elite Eight of Seabrook Idol.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, not gonna lie, I thought from the second line that I played, the whole place went quiet, and as a musician, that's usually not the first thing you want to hear. It's just pin silence. But so I thought from the second line I was done. I was going home, and I was just like, all right, here it is. Like, you know, like how I showed up there. I swung for it and said, okay, and yeah, the judges had nothing bad to say, and
that's awesome.
Next week we go.
There you go, man. It's great. And now, so I know this story because I was there for the first night, but you were not actually scheduled to perform at Seabrook Idol. Like, this is usually a long process. People send in their stuff, but Chris took a shot in the dark and said, you know what, I want to be a part of this. I didn't go through all the legwork, but I really want to do it. So you said, I'm just going to show up and see if maybe somebody else doesn't show up, right?
Kinda. I mean, you make it sound like I
No. I mean it in the best possible way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so it's funny. The band that I play with, great group of guys. I love it. We played there the day before Christmas Eve.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so as I was pulling in the parking lot, I saw the big billboard. And I was like,
no kidding.
I was like, oh, what's Seabrook Idol? So I started Googling it, and of course, you know, my bandmate Dave, he's like, you should do it. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, dude, the deadline was the 15th. Like, I can't do it. So some calls were made, and it was like, hey, man, like, some people get sick. It is what it is. I can't guarantee you anything.
I didn't even know you talked. Did you talk to, like, Francois or somebody?
I didn't, no. So I was just going off of a friend, a bandmate going, hey, man, he said just show up, and if someone doesn't show up, they need someone to fill the spot. Oh, wow. So you'll just be in. So I literally, when you walked over with the cup, and it was Francois standing there, I was the last one to draw the number because I didn't know if I was playing until that moment. So I pulled number 10.
10th person to go.
10th person to go. I made it. But then last night, as I was going out there, I live in Manchester, and everyone is sick of paying the high gas prices. So the BJ's in Manchester was actually 30 cents more. So I stopped at the BJ's right outside Red's Tavern, which is right off the same exit, and the gas pump stopped like on its own at $41 on the dot. And then last night I was the last one to pull again and had number 10. I'm like, okay, like, something's got to give here, man. Like, this is getting weird. So
that is funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all thankful that I don't know who didn't show up, but we're all thankful that happened because now here you are in the Elite Eight. You've stunned the crowd twice.
Yeah. I hope they feel better if that was the case. Like, I sincerely wish them well, but thank you for the opportunity. I mean,
I'm sure I had nothing to do with the decision. It's Francois' show, but I'm sure he had some sort of inkling that you had some chops. I don't think he would have let just anybody up there. But.
I mean, I'm not that guy that goes around being like, hey, like, just trust me. But it was funny when I walked in. You know, the staff is if you haven't been to Reds, like, and I'm not just plugging them because of Seabrook Idol, but the whole staff, everybody there just makes you feel like home.
Friendly,
so when I walked in, they saw me with my guitar. They're like, you played here last week and you didn't tell us you were in it. I was like, hey, surprise, I'm not. So it was a lot of fun, and honestly, even if I didn't make it, I would be going to watch. The amount of talent that's in there is just absolutely incredible in every genre you can think of. So
well, that's very sweet. And actually, so the story goes, here's a lot of Seabrook Idol behind the scenes here. I actually had to MC the first night because Jay Pizarros, who's a friend of the show, great musician in his own right, was sick. And that was my one MC mistake of the night. Because you weren't on the original list, you were through. You were like easily through. But we announced all the names. And I went through the original list and said, we tried to be nice and announce the people that were coming back. And that way you don't have to say you're eliminated. But you were not on the original list. But you were definitely through though in the judges' eyes. So they told me who they were eliminating. So I went through the original list, circled all the names, but your name was not there to circle. Again, because not on the original list. So we announce you. You think you're going home after this. I literally had to grab the mic again and go, hang on. We missed one person. Because you started saying goodbye. Thank you for the opportunity.
I was going around, and I actually was coming up to you, and both... Both judges that were standing next to me, they were so confused looking at me, and I don't know if they were like, did we say the wrong person? What happened? And then you're like, congrats, man, moving on to next week. I was like, No, like, why does everyone keep saying this to me? Like, I appreciate it, and I will actually audition the correct way next year.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I kept saying to everybody. Like, I promise I'll do it the right way next year. It wasn't like a plant, like an industry plant.
Nope, just a complete MC mistake on my part. That was completely my bad. But
that's how I met you, which is awesome, because I'm super thankful for your exposure and your support through all of it. We've been messaging back and forth, so
awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we were very glad to have you on the show here today. So again, I was not in the house last night. You said you quickly noticed that the place got quiet, and it is kind of a, some people take a different approach to how they go at that show, as I'm sure people did last night.
Yeah.
It's a bar. Some people are there to have a party night. It can be loud at times. So when you say the place went quiet, I can definitely picture that. Like, that is very noticeable. That place goes shh.
Yep.
What's that moment like when you like connect in that way?
So, I did something that I've been trying to do more with my performances, or even just getting in front of a mic, which I'm thankful that they do that with me every week with the band, because I'm the wild one. I'm the one that wants to have a good time and party. If you're coming out, and this is what I said last night, if you're coming out, for every artist, it doesn't matter if you stay the whole time, if you listen to 3 songs. If you came in and you had a drink and you talked with the bartender and you left all your problems, all your worries, all your cares, and I had your attention for 3 minutes, and you forgot all of that. That means more to me than the paycheck that I'm getting at the end, or what's in the jar for tips. Like, that's why we do it. It doesn't matter if you're playing a cover or an original. When you kind of scan around and you see like people actually like connecting with you, you're like, okay, there's something here, and that's a magical moment. But last night, I wore my cowboy hat, which is something I don't really do, but I was feeling it.
Yeah.
So I had my tunnel vision, which was nice, especially since I felt like I was going home.
Yeah.
But I didn't peek up and look. But you can hear it in Red's reel. Like, the place just went quiet, and then there was just like 3 woos, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. All right, here we go. Like, you just panic.
You literally, you were that unconfident in it, or at least not feeling that great about it. Like, you just weren't sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, I was in my mind.
in your own head, yeah.
Yep. And you know what? That also taught me something, because I definitely. It's not that I didn't take chances that I wouldn't normally take with vocal runs or something. I felt better about the one that I just did here. I can tell you that.
You do tend to go for it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things of sometimes, like, that's what's so hard. The Voice and American Idol and all these different types of things. Sometimes, for Seabrook Idols, we live in a time that everything's on social media. We live in a time that everything is recorded. Some performances, like, I bet we can go back and forth on artists we've seen that if you just had a reel of them, you wouldn't be interested. But some of the vibe. I mean, Boston Calling, this, you were just talking about it the other day, or maybe it was yesterday. But the lineup, like, there's 4 or 5 artists I can list off the top right there that the 3rd or 4th song is different than the first song. They get into it, they build it. So as an artist, I'm really excited about next week, because we get 2 songs, so I get to show you a little bit of both sides. I've only been doing what I'm comfortable, my wheelhouse, my home. But at the same time, I'm only getting to show you one side. So next week, with all the artists, you're getting 8 artists who get to show you 2 completely different songs, which is going to be interesting.
You go to a Jason Isbell show. It's a Jason Isbell song you started with.
Yep.
And Cover Me Up. I mean, it's a beautiful song, one of his big ones. But it tends to be, he's a rocker.
Yeah.
He I went to see him last winter. It was maybe summertime, maybe this summer. I think it was cold out. I can't remember, but it was in Boston. That new Roadrunner, and he came out, counted it off, and they rocked all night. So it's a whole. I mean, it's a good example, right? You can be a versatile artist when you get to do multiple songs. So we'll get to see that from you next week. There's a lot of Seabrook Idol talk, because that's the flavor of the month here as you make your little run in that. But tell me a little bit about the band here.
So we're in the middle of a name change. I wasn't the original member.
Okay.
So that's another funny story. I've been playing music since I was 5. I started off with bass. And
how old are you now?
I'm 33.
All right, 33. You're tough. I would have, like, people say I'm tough.
Yeah.
I had a woman at work, younger than me, say to me, Drew, we don't know how old you are. We got you pegged from 25 to 50. And I go, I am in the middle of that.
Yeah.
I'll take that is a compliment, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Keep going.
No, it's funny. Something similar happened to me today. I stopped to get my coffee at my local coffee shop.
Yeah.
Shout out Hometown Coffee Roasters in Manchester.
In Manchester.
Yeah. But it's kind of my before practice routine. Like I gotta go in there. It kind of sets my vibe for the day and keep going. But someone's like, "Are you a country star?" I was like, "No." And the coffee
not yet.
Coffee shop started laughing like because I'm a regular and it was I was like, "No," and they're like, "Not yet," and I'm like, "Thanks, man." But sometimes you get caught in that genre, and it's like, for me, I've sang ballads, but I've been playing guitar since I was 5. I like the 90s. I'm a 90s kid,
Sure.
so for me
too.
I grew up on everything was gritty for a little while there, like, and I feel like with music today, it's beautiful, the stuff that's coming out, but it's so overproduced on some of it. Like I want to hear some of the mistakes. I like that's what made the Stones great. That's what made Georgia Satellites, Keep Your Hands to Yourself. You hear him finding where that song's taking him as he's playing it, and we need that back.
One of my favorite artists is a guy named Chad Stokes, band Dispatch. Remember that's Chad State Radio and all those bands, and he's been on this show before.
Oh, sick.
He's just he's probably my favorite songwriter these days. But he once said, I think the line was, "I tune because I care," and then like all mistakes are purely intentional, or something like that. Which is a great line, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you might get it wrong a little bit, but we're gonna go for it. You know? That's what it's all about. So So the band is, you're the new guy in the band.
No, not anymore, which is awesome because so we have a drummer, which is why we're changing.
So really taking shape.
Yeah,
here. Okay.
yeah. So it's fun. I play bass and guitar. When we're doing everything but country, for the most part, I'm playing bass, which gives me a nice easy sit back and I love that I can get the vibe. But when it comes to country, my thing is taking everything and just turning it to 11. Like I want to have fun. I want to kick the footlights out. So you
guys all sing?
Yeah, so we do. We are working on 3 and 4 part harmonies.
Wow.
So doing a bunch of the Eagles, Bob Seger, Steely Dan to Run Around Sue. I mean, we played Mean Taylor Swift the other day. I tuned the whole time. I'm just kidding. But we try to let the room lead where it goes. And there's so many bands that go in there with a set list, which we do. When we play in certain places, you got to go in with a somewhat of a focus. But we'll call out for requests and stump the band, and it's wild. It's a trip. But at the same time, that's what lets me have so much fun and creativity with the stuff that I'm writing for my EP that hopefully will get dropped.
So that's going to be a solo?
Yeah. So that's the beautiful thing about being in the band. The band was up last night supporting me and doing like.
Oh, they came last night?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
So it's super tight knit. We're a family, and they're like, you got to do this. That you have something there, and I'm like, okay, well, if you say so.
Nice.
But at the same time, I love every genre. I'm a big reggae guy. You know what I mean? So it's awesome to pull all those creative things to then put into my own music and kind of have that island vibe. If it's a Kenny Chesney, if it's a Old Dominion, but then you got the Morgan Wallen Hardy side that comes out and like let's have some fun.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's nice. Do you know how many kids think that's a Morgan Wallen song coming up?
Oh, dude.
It's like who is I mean, and probably not all mid-20s and under, but I get it a lot from that age group. They're like, that's not Morgan Wallen. It is not. Yeah. It's some other guy who's really good.
Yeah.
Morgan, his version's good too.
Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey, that's a cover.
Yeah.
No one. I mean, the crazy thing is he did such an amazing job with that song and rewrote it that he actually has songwriter credit for that song now, which is cool. But like, that's a cover. Like.
Yep. And I think he made like his living for all those years writing other people's songs. Yeah,
he was a number 1 writer for Nashville.
Yes, which is incredible that he'd given some of those songs away. I mean, it did well by him, but I think that Darius Rucker has a song that
Wagon Wheel.
No, I don't think it was that one though. It was another one of those that, and maybe Stapleton wrote that too. But there was one that I remember Stapleton specifically talking a story about.
Oh,
and he plays it in a bar. And Chris Stapleton, if you can picture this, there's a YouTube video of it. Go check it out. Probably like 25 people in this bar, and like Chris Stapleton's there playing. He's like, "Well, I wrote this one, and a man by the name of Darius Rucker grabbed it and made it into a hit." was able to buy a house with this song. Thank you, Darius Rucker. You know, it's like great delivery. You know, and, I was like, and then this guy sings it. Why didn't you sing it? It's great.
Yep. Well, Luke Bryan, Drink a Beer, he wrote that one, and he made a comment similar. So it must be a thing that he likes to do is when he sells a song, he buys something with it. Because I'm pretty sure I saw another one where he said, the car I drove here was purchased with the money from this.
Is that a Stapleton song? Did he write that?
Yeah, he wrote Drink a Beer for Luke Bryan.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you go on YouTube and pull up Chris Stapleton Drink a Beer, it's not drastically different. But if you want to hear two completely different country artists sing the same song exactly the same way, blows your mind. And that's Chris Stapleton was in a bluegrass band, and
what were they called again?
Steel Drivers.
Steel Drivers.
But then he was in a
great
rock.
Too.
Yeah, he was in a rock band before that. The Joppa brothers or something like that. He was in a southern rock Leonard Skinner type band before that. Like you follow these artists and their paths. It's crazy, the influences, and everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's strictly R&B." It's like, no, it's not. Like go listen. So it's awesome. I love it.
That is too funny, man. Yeah, that's good. I learned a little bit about Stapleton today. Then that's good. I think he's one of my favorites. He's literally my sister's favorite. Like my sister will travel.
Yeah.
To far away
He's better
places.
Live than he is on the album, and that's
I haven't seen him live, so I'm still looking forward to that.
Go see him at somewhere small.
Oh yeah.
He opens.
Can you even do that anymore?
Yeah. I saw him he's up at Meadowbrook in Guilford every year. And if anything,
which is small for
someone
big
his
artists.
size. I mean, isn't he
such a great venue, isn't it?
Yeah.
I go there to see. I'm a big Dave Matthews fan. We go up there for the whole weekend every day. It's usually 2 days in the middle of the week, but we're actually just talking about it today. We're already planning the trip.
That's awesome.
We used to Dave fans used to call that place because Dave got so big that he doesn't really need to play a venue but for some reason we were like, he must love it here.
Yeah.
Because he's no other reason. He goes out of his way to play a Tuesday and Wednesday night at a place in New Hampshire that seats half of what he normally would.
Do you know why?
I do. Well, I do think so.
Okay.
I think I know it. The guy on the lake, is that the story?
So I know something different than you do.
Oh, what's your story?
I'll tell you after you.
Okay. Well, the version I heard was that there's a guy that apparently has a lot of money and an island on Winnipesaukee.
Okay.
And the bands all stay there, and the guy says, bring your families, get a few days away, take the jet skis, take the boats, and they all go crazy for a couple days. That's the version I heard. Helpful, along with a lot of other things at the venue that are good.
Yeah, and so the flip side of that is I've heard that similar thing, but the other thing is and in no way am I sponsored by them, but if you see these artists that keep coming up there and you don't know why, they have this whole entire backstage facility that's built like playgrounds and house like
they
actual
get haircuts there,
amenities there for them. So these people come up there, these artists, and they're like, holy crap, like you're not just like get in, get out, take my money, like you want me to have a good time, like enjoy, and you get to enjoy New Hampshire which being a New Hampshire boy, it's beautiful. Like I can take an hour ride and see every different type of scenery you want. It's awesome.
So cool. Yeah, no, that completely lines up because I've heard a lot of friends are allowed back there. They party, like a lot of freedom parties and everything. Like they brought in, I know for Dave specifically, I bumped. This is a weird story. This is a complete tangent. But 2 weeks after I saw Dave at New Hampshire, I'm talking about the show with a buddy of mine, and we're about to fly out to a bachelor party in Austin, Texas. The guy on my left hears me talking. We're at the airport bar, like right before, just waiting for our flight to board. And he goes, "You went to the Dave Matthews Guilford show?" And I said, I did. He goes, "I work for, I kind of have a little sponsorship with Jack Daniels, but I do haircuts, and I'm a barber in South Boston." I was like, "Oh, no kidding." He goes, "Well, I did the band's hair." And I was like, "I'm sorry, you did the band's hair?" "Yeah, we all went backstage in Guilford, and they do it once a year. We all do haircuts in the back of this backstage." And I was like, "What?" And he's telling me this, and I look him up. He gives me his Instagram. He's this monstrous.
That's insane.
I'm like, shows me pictures. He's like, "Here we are backstage." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And this is all 2 weeks ago. I went to the show. This guy was there at the bar at Logan Airport. I don't know. It's funny how those things happen in life.
It's honestly wild. I was just talking to some of the people, the fine folks out back. It's wild. I'm actually actually filming over here just because I'm like, my entire music life and career, if you want to call it that, has completely taken off and gone in a completely different direction than I ever could have imagined, from meeting you to blowing up on Instagram and social media and TikTok.
That camera's not on me. I'm not comfortable at all.
No, it's okay. I didn't.
I'm just kidding.
We should probably edit me out of the picture that we just took then.
How'd Jay do last night, by the way? Did he bounce back as good MC?
Yeah,
He's great. Sorry.
He actually asked a bunch of great questions, which was really cool. Like you did, like you brought your own opinion and gave your fan of vote of confidence to every artist, which was awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
they liked me.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple that were like, "Where's Drew?" And like, I knew you weren't gonna be there, but I'm trying to I don't know everything. Like, I can't come off like I'm an industry plant because I'm not. But you and I hit it off. I hit it off with Francois, and the judges are great. And again, the Red Staff is awesome. So
I just tried to do Jay justice when I filled in. Have you ever heard that guy play? Jay Pizarro's?
No.
He is damn good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't just say that because I was actually a fan of his before I became friends with him.
That's awesome.
Now we're very close friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he goes on tour with Three Dog Night all across the country. Like,
that's wild.
They love him. Many big names.
Yeah.
Google search away, you'll find. But in his own right, he writes unbelievable songs.
That's awesome.
I told him once my family got so addicted to some of his tracks one summer that we were blasting it on drinking in the middle of the lake in Maine. It's just whole family tie the boats together, party in the middle of the lake.
Yep.
And I said, just summertime, blasting your music on the speaker. And other boats came over. Who's that guy? I love that song. I go, Jay's gonna love that compliment. But Jay Pizarro is a great guy.
That's awesome. I love that the music scene is so tight up here. You start to meet different people, and you start to get introduced to others. And
we all know everybody, and we all got a little bit of crazy, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So one thing, you brought this. It's funny because I think at least one of the judges, I don't know, but one of the things you mentioned, you came right out and said it. You mentioned that you had on your hand, you were born without fingers.
Yeah.
And which I think you're such a fine player.
Thanks,
that
man.
like sometimes people that. Like you don't even, I happen to be right in front of you, so I noticed, but the judges were like, wait a minute, I think it was, who was it, John, was it?
Yeah.
Who said, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, we had a conversation
until you told the story to everybody.
Yeah, until we had a conversation about how I use the pick.
That's right, yeah. Can you, what is it again?
So it's just a regular pick.
Yep.
I'm holding it up to the camera.
There you go, thank you.
But I
Good
used
TV
to use,
work there.
I used to use duct tape.
Okay.
And as a kid, I'd stick your hands in your pockets or put a jacket on or something.
Yeah.
And your whole hand just turned like lint and fuzzy, and that not only does it look different, but now it looks weird. So that went out the book very quickly. Super glue ended up hurting worse than anything because like I play hard. I'm emotional about it. My bandmate Tom, he's always like, "Oh, Chris, can you put a little more emotion into your music?" I'm like, "I'll try."
Yeah.
But the super glue would rip off mid-song and like rip off a layer of skin. So I was actually playing at a gig, and I was like 21, and one of the guys was taping down my mic stand, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot my electrical tape. I was using electrical tape at the time, and he's like, oh, I have this, and ripped me off a piece and handed it to me, and it was gaff tape. And it's funny, if you know in the industry, gaff tape comes in a giant roll, and I'm using literally like a knuckles width of tape and maybe 7 inches long, so like I gotta use it on like I'll just start taping down random band members' stuff on the stage because like it's going bad and not sticky before I'm using it, so like I'll just start taping everything down. But it's gaff tape and it works really well. I would love to make it big enough where like John asked me again last night, he's like, what would you do? I was like, I just want my own guitar made for me, man. Like being a lefty, which is naturally me, I'm born with no fingers. There's fingernails on there, but I gotta trim them every once in a while.
Wait, so you're a born lefty, so you're playing up. Wait.
No, I'm playing lefty like I'm
okay, it's weird when you're actually looking at somebody. Cause I can play a little bit, but I'm like, wait a minute, how's he holding the guitar?
So gotcha, I play lefty. I'm supposed to be a lefty, but I have to do everything right-handed. So
that's like, that's what I was trying to say. So you have to adjust.
Like it's awesome.
Gotcha.
That's my excuse all through school. I was like, I was supposed to be a lefty. I don't know what you want from me.
So you're born that way, and then when do you decide? You know what? I mean, I'm sure. Relatives were like, well, you're not going to play guitar. And then you're like, yeah, I am. So when did that happen?
Yeah, so my dad played. So that was one of the things. And he was like, oh, if you want to learn, like, you'll learn. Like, you know, so he taught himself how to do, you know, the cowboy chords, the stuff. He learned how to do that.
3 chords and the truth.
Yeah, 100%. And you play every country song backwards. You get your dog back, you get your wife back, you get your house back. Which is the stigma. But hey, you know, it's probably true. Yeah. But he taught himself the cowboy chords that he knew, lefty, to show me, and then he would just put like a piece of paper and number my fingers, and he would put the numbers on the piece of paper of how the chords went. So that's what I practiced with, and once I did that, I was off and running. I used to just use my thumb, but I started playing heavier and got into metal, and then got into reggae and REO Speedwagon, which is a lot of picking. So I'm like, this is starting to hurt. So I had to figure something out, and I just kept going. And
is bass technically a little easier because
yes and no, it is and it isn't. If you're going back and forth from playing chords to playing root notes and then trying to like find the octaves, but it's also a challenge, and it keeps my brain going. So which is also then the creative side. It's a wild ride, which now I'm adding all this to it is even crazier, but it's wild. I literally had to be like, are you gonna do it or are you not? Are you gonna figure it out? Are you gonna make excuses? Are you going to, you know, just roll over and go like, oh, I can't do that? Or do you figure it out? Like, I drove standard. I built a race car when I was 21, and it's a Subaru and wild drag car that just shouldn't have been made. And, you know, it's one of those things of like, it was a standard, and I drove standard and raced it at the drag track. And like, you know, I can shoot guns. I can do it all. Like, it just
once you start, there's no stopping you.
I don't like no, and it's kind of funny. I said that at the first round. I was like, I don't really like no. I don't like.
Yeah, but that was my question. Remember that? I was because I think the way I phrased it to you was I think I was giving you credit for just showing up and saying like it's a long drive to like be told sorry everyone's here, we're booked. You know, see you next year. Yeah, you know, like that's a long drive to take that chance, and it's like commendable to like you know what, take the shot. Who knows if you don't take the shot? I thought there was something you could learn from that, which is why I mentioned it. And then you had that great line that I think really connected with a lot of people there. Like, you know, I've been told a lot of things since I was a kid, and you know, you just stop taking no for an answer.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So
crazy.
It's one of those Wayne Gretzky quotes, which is even funnier being in Reds. But like, it's one of those things of like just reaching out to you like I did, and just going, all right, how am I going to do this? How am I going to figure it out? So it's one of those things you never know what's going to happen, and you know, just saying hi and being friendly and being authentically you. That's something that every judge last night said to me, which for some reason has been the thing for me this year, is just being authentically me, not putting myself in a box and just kind of seeing what happens.
Yeah, I think that's in so many, whether it be, I remember I've told this story on this show before. My first boss when I was trying to get on the radio in Boston was telling me, he's like, you know, your thing is like people, authenticity. Like people like you, but you have to be you on the radio. Like you're trying to, I don't want to hear like a radio voice. I want to hear you. Right. You tell me, and like, so I had to find that voice, and for me, I settled on, and everybody has their own way of finding their voice, finding your voice, they call it in the radio business. But young Drew, I found that my trick was don't change anything. Yeah. It's going to be my voice, energy up. Yeah. That was the key for me. Always keep your energy up, because that's what translates. That's what takes you to the next level. But energy up and be yourself, because you can't, even on the radio, even when people, you can't fake it.
You can't fake it.
You know?
Your voice says more. I'm a huge body language guy, and I kind of read that you are too, because one of the things I noticed about you right away, and just meeting you a couple weeks ago, is you give back the same vibe that someone comes at you with. So if someone's like, hey, how's it going? You're not going to be like, what's going on? You meet them in the same thing, and you make them comfortable, which is a unique trait and personality. You know, it's one of those things of like, if someone's coming in and like, I was like, hey, what's up? Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. You want to guide me around? You're like, yeah, man, let's figure you. So you match that vibe which translates even on the radio, body language wise. Like, there's so many things that people pick up on, and I think that's one of them, man.
That's sweet of you to say, man. I appreciate that. We appreciate you coming in here. We wish you all the best here through Seabrook Idol, and well, you know, I think you should go on and win the damn thing. How about that? We'll have you back on again.
I would love to, you know, but like I said, there's a lot of people on there that are great.
There's a whole lot of talent, isn't there?
It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, we've had a lot of them on the show too, so we hope you all do great. We can have the band in here someday too. We've done that before.
That'd be awesome.
We've had a full band right there where you're sitting.
That'd be.
We make it work.
Let's do it. They'd all love. They're all going to be listening and busting my chops props about the dumb things that I said. So
there you go. Real quickly, we do usually first time on the show. You got to do a quick rapid fire with us. So quick answers, all right?
Sure.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite class in school?
Music.
Favorite artist, musical artist, all time?
Cody Johnson. Travis Tritt.
Ooh.
Travis Tritt.
Favorite venue? It can be to play or see a show, whatever. Favorite venue of all time?
Red Rocks.
That's it. Have you been there?
I have not.
Yeah. Do you just love the scenery? Me too. It's like I'm so envious to go there.
I was introduced to Revolution through Live at Red Rocks, not the actual CD, but the DVD, when like the actual visual and the sun setting and just being an artist, and you follow it in Zac Brown Band, like it's just the vibe. It's one of those things, like you don't go to a concert just for the person, you go for the vibe.
No doubt, it comes through just by looking at shows there. You're right. And lastly, what is the best career advice you ever received, whether it be music or just
authenticity? It's authentic. Be you. People aren't going to believe things if you don't believe it yourself. There's so many songs that don't make it. There's so many people that don't make it by just saying the things that they say. It's actions and words. Follow it. You can do it. No.
Well, hey man, I think I expected that answer because we kind of touched on it. It's kind of a theme on the show here.
Yeah.
Go root for Chris Gendron, Seabrook Idol. It's every Wednesday in January. He's
Tuesday.
making a Tuesday. Yeah, I'm been off a day all week. I knew you played. Why am I doing that?
Sorry.
And thank you for correcting me. Francois would be like, "Come on, Drew, it's Tuesdays." Every Tuesday in January, Chris Gendron has made it to the final 8, the Elite 8 now. So they're getting 2 songs here the rest of the way. And Chris, we wish you all the best. Can you play us out with one here too? You got,
We'll do a sneak peek of something that might be coming out next week in that round.
All right, man. Chris, first time on the show for Chris, and I think I already locked him into another one. See, once we have you on the show and we like you, we force you to come back.
I'm down with that. we can bring in the duo. We can bring some drums in.
Oh, I like it.
Hopefully, with how I do in Seabrook, we'll be dropping an EP. So
perfect, man.
That'll be the hope.
Chris Gendron, again, check him out, Seabrook Idol, not far from our Newburyport studios here, right up the road, every Tuesday night in January. He has made it to the final 8, and he's going to play us out with this one. Thank you to Maeve Power, producing the show today. Maya Gassman's in the house, Ryan Rothberg, Sarah Hayden, the boss. We got a huge, it's a small but mighty crew, but we got big tasks on hand. We got basketball games, hockey games all week. I'm helping out with some of them. Usually when they call me to do some of the sports games, I know it's a very busy week. So thank you to the whole team here doing a lot of work. Lee Cusack, Tom Goodwin on camera. So those guys have been working really hard this week. I always try to shout them out when I can. Chris Gendron going to bring us home out of Manchester, New Hampshire. Thank you, Chris. We'll see you next time, everybody, live at Drew's house.
Day starts with a coffee and ends with wine. Takes forever to get ready. She's never on time for anything. She gets that come get me look in her eyes. It kind of scares me the way that she drives me wild. She drives me wild. Beautiful, crazy, she can't help but amaze me. The way that she dances, ain't afraid to take chances. Wears her heart on her sleeve. She's crazy, but her crazy's beautiful to me. She makes plans for the weekend, can't wait to go out till she changes her mind. Says let's chill on the couch and watch TV. And she falls asleep. Beautiful, crazy, she can't help but amaze me. The way that she dances, ain't afraid to take chances. Wears her heart on her sleeve. It's unusual, unbelievable, how I'm such a fool. Yeah, I'm such a fool for her. Beautiful, crazy, she can't help but amaze me the way that she dances. Ain't afraid to take chances. Wears her heart on her sleeve. Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah, she's crazy. But her crazy.